water. If you drop this flour directly into boiling water, starches on the outside instantly gelatinize. This creates an impenetrable barrier, trapping dry flour inside. Cold water stops this premature cooking, giving your whisk time to mechanically break apart dry pockets, hydrating the flour evenly. Keep whisking until you see a dark, smooth liquid without a single speck of dry flour. Once you hit that state, pour in the remaining 1.5 cups of water. Keeping heat out of the equation during this initial mixing phase is the single most important step to guarantee a lump-free base. Now, move the pan onto the stove over medium heat and start whisking continuously. Bring the mixture to a boil and keep it cooking, uninterrupted, for 3 to 4 minutes. As the heat penetrates the liquid, the starches activate. You'll watch the consistency rapidly shift from thin and watery into a heavy, bubbling porridge. You are looking for a very specific visual indicator. The surface of the ragi will shift from a dull, matte finish to a thick, reflective, glossy shine. Hitting that glossy texture proves the starch is fully cooked out. It's the only way to permanently eliminate the chalky, bitter taste of raw flour. With the base fully cooked, it's time to build the flavor. Start by stirring in 1 teaspoon of ghee. Next, add 2 tablespoons of jaggery to act as your primary sweetener. The residual heat in the pan will rapidly melt the jaggery down, pulling it into the mixture and darkening the overall liquid to a rich, deep brown. To finish the aromatic profile and add a bit of texture, mix in a 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder along with 6 to 8 ground almonds. If you have a nut allergy, you can entirely skip the almonds. The recipe will still work perfectly without them. Layering in these specific traditional fats, sugars, and spices is what takes the utilitarian millet base and turns it into a highly palatable morning drink. Before moving to the final step, you must lower the heat. If the pan is too hot when you introduce dairy, the jaggery and milk can react and curdle. Pour in 1 cup of whole milk and immediately go back to continuous whisking. Let the malt simmer on low for just 1 minute. You will see the dark liquid lighten into a creamy chocolate brown shade. To test the final consistency, dip a spoon in and lift it out. The liquid should coat the back of the maul with a thick, opaque layer, but it should still easily drip off fluidly. Unifying the water-cooked ragi and the milk over low heat is what locks in that velvety, pourable texture required for a true malt. Take the pan off the stove and pour the warm mixture directly into a glass to serve immediately. Because of the high starch content, the liquid will naturally continue to thicken as it cools down. For the best experience, you want to drink it while it's hot, giving it a quick stir right before you take a sip. If you prefer a salty breakfast, there is a traditional savory variation called Ragi Ambali. This is often how the grain is prepared and consumed in historic rural settings across India. The cooking process is identical, but instead of milk and jaggery, you swap in buttermilk, a pinch of salt, and a quick temper of mustard seeds and chilies. Whether you bow with the sweet malt or the savory ambali, mastering this basic thermal and mechanical process gives you access to a deeply traditional, highly nutritious breakfast. Let me know down in the comments which variation you plan to try first.